Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Max. And before we jump to the video, there's just a couple things I want to mention really quick. First is I'm still new to this whole YouTube video making thing, so just want to give a quick apologies in advance for my camera feed's kind of in the way of a couple parts during the development, so just want to apologize for that. And then the second thing is just to kind of remind everyone where we're at in the video series. I know it's been a while since I last posted, but right now we're making a video series on how to make an encryption application. And so in the first video, we talked about sort of the theory of operation behind how we're going to actually do the encryption and decryption. And then in the second video, we implemented that encryption mechanism in C#. And then today, we're actually going to start the main app development for the final application we're going to be working on. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that really quick. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So first, I'm just going to open up Visual Studio, and we're just going to make a new project. We're going to make a WPF app for this, and this is just going to be like a basic desktop application. So I'll click C# desktop. We should have WPF. Yep. Cool. And this folder I think looks good. This is where we made the Enigma machine tester and the rotor maker. So we'll put the app in there. That's fine. Project name, we'll just call this like my crypto app for now. And let's create. And if we go back to the previous video, I was showing a slide like this. And this is kind of like a brief sketch of what the app will look like. So we'll use this as sort of like a reference design and then just go from there. Usually whenever I make a user interface, I always like to just do two things like right off the bat. And one is just change the name of the title to main window, or from main window. We'll just call this my crypto app. My crypto app, and I always don't like this being white. I think there's a lot of other like white user controls that just sort of like blend in, like text boxes and stuff like that. So I always start off making this like a dark gray. And then earlier we discussed that there's going to be two main parts of the application. There's like the encryption decryption part, and then the key exchange part, which we'll talk about later. So to handle both those parts, we'll first put down a tab control. Where's tab? There's tab control. Cool. Just line that up in there. And same kind of thing. I like to usually make these like darker colors to just add some contrast between that and the background, and also just make it so text boxes will show up easily. And we'll call this, where's the title for this thing? Tab item. Oh, here we go. This will be encryption. And the other one will be key exchange. And maybe we'll make this one like a different color. We'll do, I don't know, like orange or something. Well, there's some like, yeah, we'll just stick with, yeah, I don't like this. Stick with like a dark, maybe that's okay for now. We can change that later. Okay, so going back to our little sketch, the first things we should put in are a text box for plain text and a text box for the ciphertext. And the only other things we really need to add here are three other boxes where the user can input the settings for the Enigma machine, and then just a button to do the encryption and decryption. So let's start off by making those. So zoom in a little bit. First, we'll just get two text boxes. Whoops. That's a text block. We want a text box. Okay, so this will be our plain text box. And maybe the starting text will just be like type your message to be encrypted or decrypted here. And then we'll make another text box for the decryption. So this will be the, I guess, the cipher text box. And then just the starting message for this one will be like the output text will be here. Okay, cool. Then next we'll just put some labels on. That way we can just know which one's which. Here I'll have a label, and this will just be a plain text. And maybe we can make these a little wider too. Okay. And then we'll have the cipher text here. Okay. Okay, so next we'll need 3 other text boxes for the Enigma machine settings. So that'll be pretty similar as well. Just make 3 more text boxes. These can be a lot smaller since they're just going to have a number in them. And by default, we'll just have some initial settings to be 0. So we'll have this will just say like R1 setting. Let's move this a little back. I'm not much of a user interface designer, so this isn't going to look great, but we'll make it work. And we'll just make a copy of these 2 for the next setting, and then another copy for the 3rd setting. If I can grab it. There we go. Let's bring that up a little bit. Bring this one up a little bit too. Okay, so this one will be R1 setting text box. This one will be R2. And then this one will be R3. Okay, cool. And then, we just need to change the labels accordingly to let the user know. R3, R2. Okay, cool. So we have our plain text box, our cipher text box, and then the inputs for the 3 rotor settings for the Enigma machine. And lastly, we just need a button to do the encryption and decryption. So let's just grab a button. Put it right here. I don't know, say encrypt. And I don't know, what color should we make it? Maybe we'll make it like a red color. We'll just line it up with something. Okay. Okay, cool. So now we have the main framework for the user interface. Now we just need to sort of wire everything up. So let's go to the code behind the application. And first, we're just going to need to make some starting variables. So we'll have 2 strings, one for the plain text, one for the cipher text. And we'll have 3 values, 3 integers to describe the initial settings of the Enigma machine. So we'll have int R1 setting and R3 setting. Okay, and so we have those variables, and then what we're going to want to do is we just need to sort of write the logic for what happens when we click encrypt. So let's make a method for this. Okay. Oh, and before we do that, we should actually write one more method to just convert like the values in these text boxes, which are strings, and just convert those to ints. So let's just do that really quick. Public string or int parse text box string S. So this is just for like we want to pass in the strings we extract from the text boxes and return an int in the case for the rotor settings. So we'll say return. We want int, so int 32.parse s. Okay, so when the user click, it's just called button click. We should probably name this button. Give it encrypt button. And if we it's still called button click. I want to rename that because in case we have another button, we just don't want it to be called button click. We'll replace it like this. Okay, and just delete this one. Okay, so the first thing we want to do when the user clicks the button is we want to read out the settings for the Enigma machine from these three text boxes. So let's do that. So we'll say R1 setting is assigned to parse, whoops, spelled this wrong, string. And that's going to be R1 setting textbox.text. So here we're just, we're grabbing the text from the R1 text box and then just converting it to an int. And then we'll do this for the other two initial settings as well. R2, R3, R2, R3. Okay, cool. So now we've got the initial settings for the Enigma machine. And let's just also read out the text from the plain text box for what we want to encrypt and decrypt. So we'll say plain text equals plain text box.text. Okay, and now we can make an Enigma machine now that we have the initial settings. So yeah, we don't have the Enigma machine class, so we need to get that from the previous projects we were using to test. So here we have this was the Visual Studio solution we used to test the Enigma machine. So from here we can just grab the source code for the Enigma machine class and copy it to our new project for the app. Okay, cool. So we have the Enigma machine in our project now. So let's just go over here and add it. Go to add existing item, add the Enigma machine, and just so it can, just so our project can see the class properly, we'll need to change the namespace. So right now the namespace we're working in is my crypto app, and we'll just change it here. Okay, so if all that works properly, we should now be able to make an instance of the Enigma machine. So let's say Enigma machine X is a new Enigma machine with R1 setting, R2 setting, R3 setting. And then we're going to say ciphertext is equal to, or is assigned to x.encrypt, or Enigma encrypt, and then we'll give it the plain text. And actually, probably before we do the encryption, we probably want to clear the contents of this box to not overwrite it or anything. Well, if we reassign the text, it might clear it, but just to be safe, we'll explicitly clear it as well. So cipher text box dot clear, and then last thing is we need to take the ciphertext and put it in the ciphertext box. So ciphertext box dot text is assigned to ciphertext. So far, yeah, pretty simple application. We did most of the coding to actually make this Enigma machine class to do the encryption and decryption and all that stuff. But the app itself is pretty simple. Grab 3 values from these 3 text boxes to for the constructor of the Enigma machine, and then just grab the text from this plain text box, pass it to the Enigma machine's encrypt method, and then just get the ciphertext out and put that in this third box, or in this last box. So yeah, we did that pretty quickly. Let's run it and see if everything works. And really quick test is just let's encrypt the message that's already in here. Cool. So we got some garbage here. which is good. Looks encrypted. So if we take this this encrypted message and put it up here and then hit encrypt again, we should get the original message out. Type your message to be encrypted or decrypted here. Awesome. So that's exactly what we expect. And if we do this again and we hit encrypt, we get the same encrypted message. And then we should be able to change these settings and get something very different. So let's try that. Cool. And again, if we replace the plain text with the ciphertext, it should decrypt. And it does. Then if we change any one of these rotor settings even a little bit, we should get complete garbage out. And we do. Awesome. So this first part of the user interface is working well, and the encryption and decryption is working well too. So that's going to be the end of the video for today. In the next video, we're going to talk about that second tab in the application that we called Key Exchange, specifically, what it is and why we want to have it. But as things stand now, we have a fully functioning application that we can use to encrypt and decrypt messages. So with that said, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and let your friends know about it. And with that said, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.